116th Hotline. It's your girl Sadie.
It's Valby.
And this is Sutana. And welcome back to our podcast, 116th Hotline. If this is your first time listening, we are a trio of
sisters.
And we like to talk about anything and everything. And if this isn't your first time, welcome back.
Welcome back, welcome back to the late show.
You guys know that song again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk show by Janae Aiko and Big Sean. Welcome back to the late night show.
I don't know that one.
You need to listen to it.
It's
such a good song.
They're much more cultured than me.
Yeah.
But anyways,
you uncultured swine.
How has everyone been doing? I just want to do a quick mental health check-in. Quick.
We haven't done. Okay, go.
On a scale of 1 to 5, how's everybody feeling?
1 to 5. I thought
1 to 10.
Okay, 1 to 10. How's everybody feeling?
I've never heard anybody say 1 to 5.
All right. We'll start off with Miss Sadie.
Okay, of course. That's always
Quick.
I would say I'm at a 7.
Okay.
So it's not up there, but it's not down there. It's pretty good.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say I'm at a 7 too, because the other day I had a really bad day, and I think I'm just still slowly recovering from that.
Okay.
So I would say 7, like barely a 7.
For me, Sutana, I'm gonna say I'm at a 6 right now. I've been very
our numbers are
crazy
so
busy.
low.
Yeah, my mental's
okay.
My mental's been going through.
They're
it,
low days, they're high days.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a.
Are you pregnant?
Oh my God, no way,
No.
Oh.
Just because I'm big bone does not mean I'm pregnant.
She's a big girl.
No, but I'm a number 6 because I've been going through it these last couple weeks. I literally had like a mental breakdown the other day.
Oh yeah,
so
she did,
I'm just like,
Do I remember this?
yeah. You do.
And so I just wanted to ask you guys a question, and maybe you guys can relate, or I'll just tell you guys a little bit of what my mental breakdown looked like. I don't know if you guys remember our conversation, but
yes,
basically I literally had a mental breakdown because it came down to the question of like us being women, right? And then also being Hmong women. Obviously there's a stigma that comes with being Hmong women. I think there's so much secret burden
standards
that you secret burden, weight, and standards that you have to carry within that role itself that is just like, I think our society and our culture and our community has taught us that, although there's not a said out loud role of what or how you should look like or what you should do, it's just like a known fact. This is what you're supposed to do.
Like we were trained to think this
Correct.
way. Yeah.
Correct. And I feel like that just really, really hit me the other day, and it just got me thinking, like, at the end of the day, it's like, number 1, like, when will I be enough? And then number 2, like, does my happiness not matter? Number 3, when will I ever feel like I am good enough? And then number 4 is just like, why do I always have to give? And how come when it comes to me, how come it's always like at the bottom of the totem pole? Like, I just wanted to unpack that because it's like that really, really hit me hard the other day. And it just got me thinking, like, really emotionally, like, no matter what I do in my life, no matter what things I sacrifice, no matter how much I try to portray myself in a specific light, not that I'm doing it intentionally, but just the roles that I play in my life, like, I'm just like, when will I ever be good enough? And then I also want to add in there, like, circling back to like just like people that don't like you, like, in general, like no matter what you do, you will never be good enough for people that don't like you, and how you cope with that, or how how you guys handle that. And it's just like, I'm a strong girl, I'm super strong, but I think just like anyone, you have your cap of what you can
your
take,
breakdown,
even the strongest
and then
falls.
it's like like we were talking about in a couple episodes ago, like, I can only be God's strongest soldier for so long, and then it's like it hits, and it's just like a.
I feel like it's like the analogy that I like to say, that it's like you can fill a glass up like with so much, and once it breaks, it's impossible to put the glass back together. Like, it really is. So I think like referring back to what you're saying, maybe like just knowing like when to cap it yourself before it gets too bad, because literally when the glass breaks, like a glass cup breaks, you literally cannot put it back together, like because the tiniest pieces is gonna go missing and you cannot put it back together. So like I think 100%. It's important, it's very important to know whenever it's getting close to there, or it's important to know when to stop it from breaking, because really when it breaks, it will never be the same. And that kind of goes back to like you what was it, last year or a year ago before, when you had that really bad breakdown, like your glass broke. Yeah. Like it really did. Like ever since that day, have you ever been the same? You've never been the same. Like I think that's like the perfect analogy that I anytime I think about like being so overwhelmed or stressed like that, I think about that, because when it does break, you will never ever be the same. The glass can never be repaired to how it was before. So I think knowing when to let yourself know that it's getting full, or you putting a cap on it before it does get full, is very important. And I know that your circumstances are different from like what I've ever had to deal with and whatever Sadie's ever had to deal with. But I think it's all kind of ties in the same, where it's us like being more self-aware and knowing that like a lot of things in life are things that you cannot control.
Absolutely true.
Like it really is. And I think, what's that saying like you guys like to say, if it's out of your control, it should be out of your mind.
If it's out of your there you go.
If it's out of your control, it should be out of your mind. And like
I've been having to remind myself a lot.
like and that goes for like everything, like stuff that Satana's dealing with, stuff that Sadie's dealing with, and stuff that I'm dealing with. Like I can't control it, so why am I stressing about it? Like let it in, then let it out, because what the fuck is it gonna do me any fucking good if I'm fucking stressing about it?
On your mind,
it's just gonna make me miserable, and I'm gonna be laying in bed and then it's thinking about shit, and it's gonna make me hate myself because of things that I literally cannot control. And knowing me, my personality, I like to have control of shit. If I don't have control of shit, I don't fucking want it. I don't want to deal with it. And if I'm like halfway have control of it, then it's gonna drive me fucking insane knowing that I don't have full control over whatever that is. That's just me, my personality. So if I cannot control it fully, I don't even want to fucking think about it, because it's gonna make me go insane. It's gonna make my mind run in circles playing fake scenarios that probably don't even exist, because the fake scenarios is what's gonna get you when that shit might never even fucking happen. You know what I mean? Like
I get that. Like that literally speaks to me.
Literally the fake scenario shit, like you are stressing yourself out so much on shit that
something that's imaginary.
Like that I know that I do that a lot. I run through fake scenarios a lot in my mind, so that's why I try not to, or like that's why whenever I do start to think about fake scenarios, I have to keep myself busy, or I will be thinking about shit. Like if I have a question about somebody, I'll be like, and I'm like, nope, I'm gonna dig. One thing about me, I'm a digger. I'm a digger. I'm a pusher.
She a mind digger.
I'm a pusher. I'm a push. So like if I have a question, I'm gonna fucking say it, because I know like from my personal past experiences, if I don't ask them or say it, like I'm gonna tell myself my own fake answers, and then that's gonna make me miserable.
I think that's one like disadvantage that I don't have, is that, you know, like my lifestyle and I live, I don't have the what's it called?
The pleasure of digging,
of questioning. And you know, you guys know like the lifestyle that I live. Like that's the one thing that I cannot do, and I think a lot of it falls onto my shoulders, and you know, I think that's kind of like what made me spiral, is just like thinking like, you know, the like, why am I never good enough? And it's just like going back to that, like I don't know, like having like, I wish I could have that just to like complete that part of my thinking, but it's like I don't have I don't have that. So then I have to be able to like balance it out in a way to where I don't feel like crazy, or don't feel like I'm going insane. And you know, I told you guys the other day, like, is it me? Like, am I going crazy? Like, I just feel like sometimes, you know, in life, I feel like I'm never gonna be good enough, and no matter what I do, like for anyone in my life, like in every scenario, it's like I think all of us can relate. Like at some point, you do get that feeling like, will I ever be good enough? But then I always try to remind myself, like, no, that's like victim mentality. Like,
and I know that's one thing about
that.
you. Like you hate the victim mentality
I hate it.
and like the victim thinking. But I think like one thing about you is like you don't give yourself enough grace. Like you really don't give yourself enough grace. And I think you're just like the way your personality is. Like you're very hard on yourself, and you're very hard-headed. So you're very hard on yourself. You're very hard-headed, and you hate victim blaming or like the victim mentality and personality. So like it's not that you're playing the victim, is to give yourself some grace. Like you're fucking going through it.
The word victim, yes, when you think about the word victimize or victimizing yourself, maybe you think of it as a sign of weakness. However, in your scenario,
that's true.
I mean,
It's a sign of strength.
Yes,
like,
it is actually. And here's what I see from an outside point of view. Okay, like going through what you go through and what you have went through. If I were you, I would hella 100% admit that I am a victim.
Yeah, me too. Me, like, I would.
And here's I would, right? Because like I could not survive what you go through.
No, I would be pulling shit out the closet from
like,
5 years ago. Like
seriously, and here's the thing too, Shatana, is that when you think about the word, like, you know, I mean, I don't want to. The word victim, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You have to remember, like, pretty much like Val said, give yourself some grace, and you're not necessarily like, oh, you're really weak and you're a victim. Like, don't think of the word victim as a bad thing or
like
a weak thing, because it's not. Because in reality, like,
victims are really the strongest, like, people, like, they go through shit, like,
and the fact that you can admit to that, you know, will make you even
awareness,
okay,
awareness, come on, awareness.
And like she said, if anything, it, you know, highlights the strength in who you are, because you are like realizing that, you know what, I'm getting pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. You know what I mean? Like, you can admit to that.
So you're saying, like, yeah, I am the victim. This is like my life, but for some reason, this situation or these people or whatever is putting me down.
Why is my life being controlled?
Like, if people are putting you down, yeah, they're fucking putting you down. Like,
you are obligated to, you know, acknowledge the fact
that you are
getting pushed down.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, in that case, in my eyes, I see it's literally black and white. You are the one that's getting pushed the heck
literally
down.
There's no gray area.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no gray area. I mean, I know there's that saying of there's two sides to a story or whatever, and just because it's not because we're just on your side, but it's what I see in general.
Actions and speaks louder than words.
Yes, you're literally getting pushed and pushed and pushed. Like, and that's why you feel that way. You know what I mean? That's why you're going through so much mentally, physically, and it's just, girl, if I were in your shoes.
But I can see where Satana's coming from, where like it happens to the point where she's like, fuck, what if it is me? Because like that self-doubt, that's a real fucking thing. Like, I mean, just think about it, if bad shit keeps happening to you, right? Then you're thinking like, why me? Like, why me? Like, why me all the time? Like, I try to stay positive. I try to look at it like from a different perspective, and I try to like not think about the negative, because we preach it all the time. If you think about bad shit's gonna happen. Yeah. But like, you do have those times of the year or like those moments where it's like, fuck, like back to back, like maybe it is fucking me, you know, like what the fuck is like the God and universe trying to tell me, like what the fuck is going on? Like, so I understand that, because everybody has a point where it's a tipping point, you know, like there's a limit to everybody and everything in life. And so like I understand where Sienna's coming from about the like blame, the self-blame, but I don't know, I feel like that's just like part of life and like the battles of life, where it's like you're gonna get to that point. And everybody's going to get to that point, like not just 1 time, 2 times, 3 times out of the year. It's going to come and go, because that's life. And you're just going to have to find the courage and strength to like push over that hurdle, because it's going to happen. And I'm not going to tell you it's not going to happen again, because it will.
It will happen.
It will happen again, because that's life. But
and
it's like
you said, it's exhausting.
It's exhausting. And that's why you have to know yourself. And that's why you have to be self-aware of knowing like what you need to do personally to get yourself out of that rut.
Yes.
And I think that's like part of it too, is like I get like the victim thing. Like, yeah, I fucking hate, like, you guys know me, like I'm like, nope, I'm not a fucking victim, like whatever the fuck. Like, I try my hardest to not have that mentality, because it's like whatever I'm going through, there's something that has gone through 10 times worse. But then, you know, I think like you guys said, like at the end of the day, like I try to be so strong, and it's just like sometimes when I do get to that point, I just have like a full up breakdown, because I'm just like, you know, like I think like in life, like I contribute so much to other people. And like I always like tell, like, you know, like even on the podcast, like we preach to people, like, you know, put yourself first, and I always tell people to do it. And I think it's kind of sad, because in a way it's like contradicting, because it's like
you don't, we don't.
I try really hard to do that, but it's like, you know, like And I try to like tell other people to like, you know, love yourself first and do all this, because it's like I know what it feels like to not be able to have that, you know. So it's like I try to, you know, make sure that other people don't have to go through the same experiences, you know. And it's like I hate having the walls up. Like I hate being the person that's like trying to be strong all the time, but then it's like, you know, I think like the self-doubt thing comes in, and it's like, you know, like I've done so much, like I've give and I give and I give and I give. And I think some point I'm just always like, you know, when will it ever be enough? It will never be enough. For people that don't like you, for people that expect a certain amount from you, it's like no matter what you do, like
here's what
it will never be enough.
I feel like you're already telling yourself the answer, because
But
yeah,
here's
it will never. It will never.
know. But here's what I have to say to you about that. As you were just saying that, when will I be enough? When will I be enough for you guys? When will your problem is you're saying when will I be enough for you?
them. But not yourself.
Then when the reality is, if you know that you're good enough for yourself, baby, that's all you need.
That's all you need.
So you need to redirect and say, you know what? I am enough for myself, my family, my babies, my husband, and that's all that matters.
Because
I don't care what anybody thinks.
like you're literally already saying it. When will I be enough for them? You will never. I'm just gonna tell you right now.
You already know
like for
that.
anybody going through like scenarios and situations like this, like you will never like just. Remember, you will never be enough for that person, for them,
whoever they may be,
or for their acceptance. Like you will never be enough for them, but for you, as long as you are enough for you, that is all that matters. Because there's people out there that's always just gonna be bitter and hate you and want to see you fail and not want to see you happy. And like that's I don't know why. That's just life. There's shitty people, there's good people, there's bad people, there's evil people.
They're always set on that mentality. Like
they
will
really
never
is
change. And
there's nothing you can do, like
to
literally
change them.
So stop worrying about being enough for them. If you're enough for yourself, that's all that matters. Because some people are just always going to be unhappy and wanting everybody else around them to be unhappy.
And like at the end of the day, when your head hits the pillow, just make sure that
I did enough for me.
Yes.
Cry.
I told myself I wasn't gonna cry. But just make sure that you do realize that, yeah, when your head hits the pillow, I am enough for me. I'm enough for my family, my loved ones, and that's what makes me me, and I am perfectly okay with it. Because at the end of the day, you know who your true people are, and we talked about this in another episode before. But you know who your true people are, your true support system. You're definitely way more than enough for all of us. Like we can't even ask you to be any more better, you know. And neither can your husband, your kids, because you're doing all you can already.
Literally.
So then do not try to push that energy for the people that already will never.
Or the people that don't even care about, like, I feel like you push yourself, so much for other people, and they don't fucking care. Like, and like people going, like anybody who's listening going through this, like those people will never care. Like if you're struggling with like a similar scenario to what we're talking about, like
just anybody,
people will never care about what you're doing. Like
if they cared, you
wouldn't be stressing
like that.
You would not be feeling
literally
like that.
You would not be stressing if they cared. So like redirect your energy and your time to people that do care, like because those people that do care will never make you feel like you have to try or
like
whatever.
You're like a chicken with its head.
It's like just chasing that feeling of like acceptance, but then at the same time it's like what you guys said, like for people that don't even care, for people that don't even like you,
yes,
for people that don't even care about you. Like,
and because, and here's the thing too, it's like I get it in your scenario, you really you would like for them to accept you and you would like for the acceptance, but at the same time they're not trying to get your acceptance, right? They're not trying to push
I think Susanna just needs to go to therapy. But no, I think it's something with like there's something in you that like you triggering. Just want, you know what it is? It's like triggering. Like you just want acceptance.
Yes.
You want the same type of acceptance and love that others get.
Yeah, and you know what?
I think that falls back to say it.
I think that's the part that hits me the most is because like now getting older and it's like. Oh, like I play, like, you know, like I hate playing the victim mentality, but reflecting back on my situations and like my life, I'm like, oh, maybe this individual's getting treated so much differently, and it's like you know, like I never got that. Like I got the bottom of the pit. You know, it's like, just like not acceptance in general, but just like I just want to be treated like a fucking human being. So that's the part that hits me. I'm like, I don't even ask to be like a friend. I don't even ask to be like someone that's like held in a high range. Like I just want to be a fucking human, you know? Like treated with just like a small amount of decency, and like sometimes even that's like way too much to ask for. It's like, you know, I'm always consistently chasing that. And that's why I said, like, you know, like, I feel like it will never be enough. Like you guys said, enough for them. But it's like, I know in my heart that I try the best I can do. Like, I, you know, it's the best of my abilities. But it just hurts me when I see the treatment of other individuals. And it's like, you know, like, that
you just want a sliver of that.
I just want, like, just a slight, you know, and, like, I just feel like so isolated when I see those scenarios, because I'm like, what could I have done? But then I have to remember, like, it's nothing you did. It's nothing you did, Sutana. Like, some people are just like that.
Some people in this world are just bitter and mean. Like really, they're just mean people, and there's nothing you could have said, done, or acted differently.
You could give them like $1 million.
I could give them the world. And like, they will still would not be enough.
Because there are just people in the world that are like that.
And this refers back to I think the last episode about letting people in your to be a privilege in your space.
Yeah, and I think that's why like I build my walls up so high, because it's like, you know, I it's like my way of like, I guess, protecting myself in a way, because it's like I know that certain people, I don't want them to have access to me, because it's like
they don't deserve
it. They don't
deserve
deserve it. And like some people they will act like they care, but then it's like, you know how they are behind closed doors. I think like in a way like that makes it feel so much worse, because it's like, you know, just to be treated like with just an ounce of respect is all I ask for, and even that from some people is too much, you know. And I think it's just like, I don't know if other people can relate listening to this, but it's like, I'm sure, you know, like I try hard, like I hate the victim mentality, like you guys said. So hard,
trying to get away from me.
It's just part of being human. Like, yes, I have to remember, like, it's not the end of the fucking world. Like, obviously, I got it over it with already. I just wanted to bring it up on the podcast because I'm like,
and vent it out.
Maybe other people can relate. You know,
I know people can relate,
because you know, like I don't talk to you guys about this stuff like in depth. Because, like in the moment, maybe yes, a little bit, but then it's like, you know, I try not to let it linger, because you know me, I just want to get it over with and like whatever, like it's done, it's closed. But then at the same time, it's like, I shouldn't have to live a life like that. I shouldn't have to live a life where I'm asking for just
walking on eggshells.
Yes, and like just to be asking for the bare minimum. And I think that's why I'm like, you know, I'm so thankful I have you guys, and like, you know, a good like support system, because like it's like if I didn't have that, I honestly like I wouldn't be able to function. Like, and
there are people out there that don't really have a support system, and that's why they are now drained and stuck in the dark place, which is so sad. And I know a few people like that, but you know, it's just, I don't know, like you really have to reach out. Like you said, I think that support system is a priority in your life. You have to really have a support system in order to go through, you know, all of these
day-to-day hardships in life. No, I mean, a lot of people really aren't blessed to have a support system, like not even just like 2-3 friends, but like one. Like I know it's just really so hard. They battle everything. Because like I said before, and I'll say it again, like life is hard. Like there's shitty people in the world, bad, evil people in the world that doesn't want to see other people be happy. Like there's really people out there, like they don't want to see other people happy because they're not happy. If I'm unhappy, everybody else gets to be unhappy. And like I used to be one of those fucking people.
That's why we could speak on it.
Because I was bitter. I was a bitter fucking person.
Negative Nancy.
And I was a negative Nancy. If I'm not fucking happy, I fucking hate everybody. Everybody gets to be unhappy. But it's like, living that life is so fucking heavy and tiring and exhausting. But you know, it's like some people are just, they don't know how to come out of that. And some people, they like that. Some people really like that negative thriving shit.
And I just wanted to negativity. Especially the spreading negativity. Like I just wanted to say, for the reason why I wanted to bring this up is just like, I know that other people can relate to this
for sure.
And like just know that you're not alone. Like although I may like portray myself in a certain way online, like obviously people only show you certain parts that they want you to see.
The highlight
and
reels.
Just know that sometimes you know, people are more relatable than you think, you know, like these battles that you're fighting alone, like for me, I know I'm not fighting it alone. I know that there's someone out there that feels the exact same way I do. Yes. But you know what? The difference is that I am trying to share my story. I'm trying to, like, you know, create this space where it's okay to talk about these things, because why should we have to, like, quiet ourselves down, you know, like like although I cannot do it, you know, in a different space, like this is my space where I can tell my story, where I can open up the floor and say,
this is your own.
If you feel like that, it's okay. And you know, if you also feel like you're at the bottom of the fucking barrel and like you're a piece of shit, just know that if you're fucking trying your fucking best, like this literally could be a message to myself too.
Period.
Like,
stuck in the mirror right now.
You may feel like you're at the bottom of the bottom, and that no matter what you do is not good enough. Like, just know that at the end of the day, if you are trying your best and your hardest, like that should not affect how you think about yourself. Like, don't let the outside opinions, the taunting, the obvious, you know, like treatment that you get from people, like especially the negative Nancy's, like do not let that affect your mental, because at the end of the day, that energy, like Val said, if you focus on that shit, it's not even going to affect them. It's just going to affect you.
Literally,
they don't care. They don't care how you feel.
It's your own mind.
And I always say that too.
Your biggest enemy is your own self.
Like if you think about, like I always tell this to people too, like if you think about the haters and if you give them space, like it's not even affecting them. It's affecting you. You know, so clear that out and make room for more wrestlings. And you know what's funny is, like, after that whole breakdown, like I got the best news ever, and it's like so fucking crazy, because I feel like it's always a fucking test.
It really is, because
as
it's like,
soon as you get over that hurdle, boom, something
like
just
literally like a couple hours later, it's like, bro, why does that always happen?
Because it's just going to show you that, like, you are a person with good intentions. You do things with good intentions, and like the universe, the ancestors, the gods, like they know that. They know that you are a good person with good intentions, and like that, like you deserve all the great things in life, because you do. Like, say your morning affirmations, like I am worthy, I am good enough, I am beautiful, like I deserve everything good in life because I deserve it. Like and like I like the word intentional, like Sadie uses that word all the time, and I think about it all the time now, that like at the end of the day, like if I know I did everything with good intentions, then I don't care. I'm good, because
like your conscience is
my conscience is clear. I can go to bed knowing I had a good day, and that I'm good. Like life is good. I'm good.
Even if something bad happens, like during your day or something, like you know,
as long as I looked at it from a good intention point of view, I'm good. Like
that's just me. Like I mean, now that I'm older, I always, no matter how negative the situation is or how bad it is, like I truly, at the end of the day, I try to look at the flip side. I'm like, okay, what can I take away from this? Like, what is a good thing that I can take away from this?
You don't thrive off the negativity.
Exactly. Right. Which, you know, in reality, sometimes the negativity that gets thrown in your way, it's supposed to like make you, you know, think all about it. That's the goal of the negativity, whatever it may be.
It's a test.
And it's like a test, new thing that I've been thinking about is like, okay, like a year ago, how would have I reacted to this situation? Yes. And if I react differently now, it's like,
that's already a win.
I've grown.
Changed.
You know, like I've grown.
A win is a win.
It's every hurdle is really just a test, and you know, I just want to let you guys know that are listening and watching that, you know, don't let other people try to ruin the growth that you've made,
and don't let them control you. Like you're
so much more matters. You're so much more than what other people think you are, you know. And like, you know, just don't thrive on negative energy, negative balls that get thrown in your court. Just use it as a test and really like try to overcome, because think about how you would have previously reacted. If you're reacting different now, like that is a huge win, you know.
Exactly.
I feel like if you fall into that and like you like give up or like give in or let it consume you, like that's what they like. The Sadie said that's what they want you to do, and like they won, and it's like what you lost. Like it's not even you lost a battle with them. It's like you lost a battle with yourself. Like you're letting yourself lose to yourself. It really is a game against yourself. And you need to learn how to beat yourself, become a better version of yourself for yourself. Like everything is for yourself.
I think it's Gotti that has a song called "Me Versus Me." It's at the end of the day, it'll beat yourself.
And I think like that's what kind of made me reflect. Is like, okay, like I was freaking out in the moment, but then I was thinking about it, and I was like, wait, like
Just take a deep breath. Take a breather.
Take a overreacting. Like it's like I've grown too much from this. That it's like I'm not gonna fall back down.
Don't
that
be
pipe.
into that energy.
Yeah, that's why I was like, all right, okay, I'll let myself have this little moment, and then and then after that, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let it go. But then I do want to talk about it on the podcast. I was like, I'll let it on the podcast. But I was like, right now, I will let myself feel the emotions and then just drop it because it's not who I am anymore.
Right.
It's not who I am anymore.
Because you remember that feeling of being bitter and holding on to it.
And I'm like, I don't
like that. You don't want that feeling.
I don't want that, you know?
I think we all been through that. That's why we can speak on it. Like you said, like something that's bad or negative or bitter that's happened to us, and we just, like you said, literally lingering onto it.
Yeah, because you know how it feels like.
You know how
it just feels nasty.
And it affects everything you do.
Literally, I was going through that the other day.
She was kind of bad. She's kind of bad with that. But then she's getting better. I keep telling her, I'm like, dang, you've come such a long way. She really has come a long way. And the thing is, like, the situation that Satana's talking about in your environment, some people's got it in their own relationships, like romantic relationships. Well, honestly, if you have that in your romantic relationship, it's not romantic.
You need to evaluate.
You need to evaluate and get out of this, sis, or bro, get out of that. Because shoot, that's not an easy life. That's not how it should be at all. Whether if it's a family, relationship, friendship, if you feel like that you always feel like you have to do so much to get people's just to approval or acceptance, then that's not the space that you should be in, Correct. And granted, some environments, it's almost inevitable. Like you can't really control it. But then, like I said, at the end of the day, do what you can.
How you react is something you can control too.
That is.
Do your best at the end of the day.
Your reaction is something you can control.
Yeah. And how you, not only about how you react to those situations, but how you let it play out afterwards is also your control.
How you let it affect you.
You choose to let it go, or you choose to let it linger on and hold on to it. And I just wanted to bring this up because it's like I know people can relate to it. So just let it pass. And please use your support system. Like, I'm so glad I have Val and Sadie. Like,
it's really good to let it out. Well, like you said, if you let it out, then it's easier for you to let it go. Because if you don't necessarily, that's how I feel. I mean, just me personally, because I feel like if something's lingering in my head and I just keep thinking about it, no matter how much I try to tell myself to let it go, it's gonna be lingering until you talk it out. Talk it out. That's why we call it vent. I'm here for you to vent. This is venting, literally. Just vent, let it out.
And you know what? If you don't have a support system, just talk to talk to us or talk to a fucking stranger. I feel like talking to a stranger is like
so much.
I love talking to strangers. I know that's not to say, but like I really do, like,
because they don't know anything about you.
They don't know anything about you. It's judgment free. Like they'll just be like, okay, and they'll tell you because there's no bias.
Exactly how they feel.
There is no bias. And then like if you've never talked to a stranger before, I don't know, but if you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I can really relate.
Talking to a stranger, and then especially if you get into a deep convo, it's like, damn. That was a good
insight.
Yeah, shit. But you guys can talk to us too. This judgment-free zone right here.
Yeah, and lines are always open.
I know there's so much stigma with like being in the Hmong community, especially like being among women in the Hmong community. Like there's so much stigma that comes with it, and just know that we are not your typical Hmong girls. Okay,
definitely not.
We are like literally. No,
we're all different. Like, bitch, this is a only girl child dating a out of race man, tattooed up,
a divorcee,
a single divorced woman with 2 kids, and then traditionally married into a traditional family
that doesn't do traditional things.
Yes,
it's like we're like a perfect melting pot.
Yes, we're like all the black sheeps.
Yes,
so different
of the Hmong community.
Literally.
So I think that's why so many people can relate to us. So just let this be a sign that like it's okay to be different and different. Because although we all go through our own hurdles and battles, like at the end of the day, you're never alone. You have your people, you have your community, you have your support group of people. So lean on them for support because, in times where you may feel crazy, like I did the other day, and just feel like
you ain't crazy.
It's like those people will validate your feelings because they know who you are. They know the real you.
Yes. We ain't got no cookie cutters here. We're all different. We are all different.
So, I just wanted to say that I love and appreciate you guys so much for always being there for me. And,
thank you.
You guys are always like the backbone to me, and I
feel like it's vice versa too. Like everybody like here, we're all each other's backbones. And I know that like Satiana, I know she was very vulnerable in this episode, but like that's that's the point of this podcast. This is our space to talk about whatever the fuck we want. Yeah. Like, that's the point of it.
It's crazy because, like, sometimes I think about it, and there are literally people out there that has never really had a sit down, had a vulnerable conversation, or just a real conversation that will get them to be vulnerable.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's scary to be vulnerable.
It is, and like I said, quite frankly, I've never really had a conversation like this with. Well, I mean, other than like Leslie, like whenever we sit down and talk, and then I become vulnerable, or like with like my significant other. But other than that, like this podcast, whenever we come together and we talk, like we literally speak our mind and our hearts, and then everything just comes out, and you're just naturally like bam, like the tears comes out, because that's when you know that you're just like literally your authentic
being
self,
genuine.
and everything, like it's like soul connecting almost, you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. I feel like my soul's coming out. I'm like, damn, I put in my soul on the table right
like
now.
The words are just coming out.
Yeah. For a moment, but in a good way.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, like, this was not towards anyone in specific. I'm just relaying how I felt during a certain
just talking about life
episode I had this past week, and so it's just like, I wanted to be open and like vulnerable and let you guys like know, like, hey, we're human too. Like, we're not perfect.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We're all going through stuff every single day. So is everybody in the world.
Everybody.
And I just know that you're not alone.
Yeah, I think mainly Satana wanted to know that, like, she knew and she knows that, like, people out there can relate to this.
Yes.
And, like, because, bro, people be going through shit. Like, you think you know someone's going through shit? No, because you don't know. No, nobody knows.
And it doesn't matter how big or how small the situation is. It's like, we're gonna validate that for you.
Exactly.
It should be validated. Ooh,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes you just need someone to say, hey, I'm sorry that you had to go through that, and it fucking sucks. Like, you didn't deserve that. Yes. You didn't deserve to go through that, or deserve to be treated like that. You didn't deserve any of that.
Whatever,
and it's not your fault.
Whatever it may be, it needs to be validated so that you know that, okay,
that you feel a little bit better. That you're not going insane.
Yeah. So, what's your main takeaway from this episode?
Let's start with Satana, since you asked first.
Yes, since I asked you.
My main takeaway is that my main takeaway would be, don't forget how far you've come.
Period. That's a good one. That's a good
journey.
Look at the journey.
I think that's also a sign that I had from my experience. Is just like, don't forget how far you've come, and don't let all that hard work go to waste just because outsiders that are not even like people that don't even affect your internal life. Like, don't let that crumble all the growth that you made.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Me, I would say, who fucking cares? Like, that's literally like, I personally have gone through so fucking much that, like, I literally don't fucking care. Like, who fucking cares? I don't care. I'm doing shit for me. If people got shit they gotta say, that's on them. That's some own insecurity, internal battles they gotta deal with. I don't care. Live life for you. Do you. Life is short. Just
talk about the three different opinions.
Shit, I'm talking about it all, because fuck, like, you're gonna go through shit, and some days you'll never feel good enough, but you are. And if people make you feel like they're not good enough, that's some projection. That's some fucking projection. Yeah.
Mine is a little bit mixture of both of what y'all just said. Pretty much. See, look at us, perfect. Chef's kiss. Okay, but literally, yes, a little bit of both of what y'all said. Like Satana said, don't forget to stop and reflect on how far you've come.
Give yourself some grace.
Give yourself some grace. Really, really pay attention to that. And then another thing is, at the end of the day, when you think about yourself and your life in general, please start using more words, more I, my, me, myself, and
because it is your life.
Because your life.
Me, myself, and I.
Period. Because instead of them, they, you, them. Okay, because I just repeated that. But because at the end of the day, it's literally about you.
Your life.
And like Satana said, this is honestly also a suggestion to myself. As I'm speaking this out loud, I'm gonna really take this in for myself
as we re-listen to this episode.
Yes, literally. Because at the end of the day, like Val said, it's your life. Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you
feel fulfilled.
Yeah. You just took the words out of my mouth, sis. But yes, so please give yourself some grace, because there's literally only one.
You deserve it.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
We're all so strong and resilient. Like, we all three of us individually.
That's why I got resilient tattooed on my back.
You do?
Like, we all three of us have literally have come so far in terms of self-growth.
I know I have.
And
self-growth.
Man, we be getting tested every single week. Like,
but you know
what next? I'm just kidding.
Throw it at me. Come on, we got this.
But yeah.
As always,
we upload a new episode every Monday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can find us at 116th Hotline on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, Anchor, and Apple Podcasts. So make sure you stay tuned and let us know what you thought about this episode.
Yes.
Can you relate?
Are you going through it? Like, it's okay. If you don't have a support system, call us. Pick up the hotline.
What are some things that you've done to help you get over these hurdles to cope with?
And I know that everybody has gone through a hard time, and I know I was a little vulnerable in this episode, but literally, like they said,
this is our space.
That's the beauty of this.
I couldn't just help it. It was just coming out.
This is our space. It's
like word vomit. So
it's our open space. So.
Let us know if you've gone through something similar, and if what are some coping methods you've used that's helped you. Like, honestly, I would like to know.
That's a good one.
And then also, did you like the episode? Did you not like the episode? Let us know.
What else would you like to hear
Is
from
Tatiana
us?
an ugly crier?
Yeah, for real. Oh, jeez, I'm gonna have to edit this.
No,
She'll be like Kim K.
I'll meme it. But yeah, let us know. And
thank you so much for watching and listening.
Yes. And like Sadie said, if you want to hear something specific from us, we are always taking requests.
Please.
Suggestion box is open.
Yeah, so you can always just DM us, or in our comments we've taken suggestions. So anything you'd like to hear specifically for us to cover, we'd be more than happy to do that.
See you in our next episode.
Bye.